Welcome to this introduction and run through to the new platform and the new blueprint. I wanted to have a brief introduction to the brand new learning platform that is called Skool. If you've worked with me before, you know I've used Teachable for several years. Teachable is gone. Now we are moving to Skool, and here's why. Skool is all about community, and community is the most important part for me. As you are on your learning journey as a new VA, it is particularly important that you have the community behind you to help support you, celebrate your wins, share your struggles. I guarantee you are not the only one struggling with something. So by kind of rallying everyone behind you, rising tides lift all ships. That is what we're trying to achieve here. And I certainly don't want everybody in this community to be so disjointed. I'm on YouTube, I'm on LinkedIn, I'm in my newsletter, I'm on Skool. So this is my way to kind of unify each and every person. You'll see right on the homepage that once you join the community, come up here to the community tab. This is where you yourself can post any questions, any comments, any introductions. I also share on this community different questions for you guys, favorite tools and apps. So I'll have different prompts as well where people can come and share different tools that they're using. Again, all of these are really helpful. So the more you guys can be involved and interact with other people, again, share your wins, share your struggles, ask your questions here. This is going to be the place where I see all those details. Second to that, if you come over to the classroom tab, this is where I have 3 courses set up so far. The VA Ready is consider this a confidence booster. So sometimes you're not quite ready to jump into the full blueprint, which I will go through in detail in just a moment. This is my flagship course. This is the course that is designed for beginners to take you from zero to full launch with clients. So the VA Ready course is really all about confidence and clarity. So it's a couple videos. You'll see that they're short. These are high impact, short modules to get you to work through some fears that you might not know you have if you are sharing your typical fears about getting started, or what if this doesn't work, or what if I don't find clients, or what if I can't make money. This kind of addresses all of those things and also gets you ready to jump into your career without having to do the full blueprint cost yet. So this is for somebody who's, again, thinking about being a VA. You kind of want to test the waters. But most importantly, the VA Business Blueprint. This is my shining star. This course right here, you can see we'll go through some of the modules over on this side specifically. This course has been my flagship course since its inception in 2024. Every year it gets a content refresh. That is because content changes. Our industry changes from year to year. In fact, in 2024, when I launched this, AI wasn't even really a thing yet. None of us were using ChatGPT. So it has, of course, evolved. Skills have been dropped. So I let you know if things are not working nowadays, and things have been added. I let you know what is working nowadays. If you have taken this course before, something that's very exciting to me, a new addition, is that Module 5 in the past, all about finding clients, used to be very focused on your ideal client avatar. This is because it is popular knowledge online, and it is a popular thought process to go through this exercise of who is your ideal client. It's kind of like a dream picture. Who would you love to work with if there were no boundaries? If reality was just paused for a moment and you could work with any person, anywhere, doing anything, what would that be? And it sounds nice, right? The theory is if you can identify a person that you really want to work with, then you build your messaging, your marketing, and your entire VA business trying to reach and speak to this ideal client. I have come to realize over the past 2 years that that can be very overwhelming for new students. So this year it's completely different. I realized that when you're new and you're like, you want to be a VA, you're very excited to be a VA, but you haven't quite thought out through all the logistics, and you've come to me to help you find clients. It's very difficult when all of a sudden, just in module 5, I'm like, okay, dream up your ideal client, and now we're going to base our entire business off of that. That's difficult. So what I've done instead is I've given you a full lecture split up into two different parts about how, instead of chasing the dream client, you can actually develop the skills and talent to read any client that is in front of you. That is to say, when you are new and clients are approaching you, or you are approaching people and you're speaking to them about your business, it can be way too limiting. If you meet somebody out in the wild or online and they're like, oh, I'm interested in working with you, and you're like, you know what, we don't want you to pass by any opportunity. So this lecture instead, and I'll show you some of the slides. Each lecture comes with slides, or in some cases, scripts or templates for you to use. But this is really how I'm going to help you, as I said, get a read on any client. So anybody who approaches you, you'll be able to determine what it is that they do. I'll show you how to do your due diligence to figure out what their problems might be, what their pain points might be, how to speak to them. It's a much more general, but a much more, I think, an easier and a more valid way to land clients quickly when you're started. Because, hey, when you get started, I've been there before, you need clients and you need money to start making, earning, and developing your business. So this is the thing that's going to get you there faster. So I'm very excited about this in particular. It does go a little more specifically. There's one new module that's just based entirely on your contracts, and I want to make sure that you are setting yourself up appropriately. You may see this right now and think, oh my God, do I need an LLC? No, this is an introduction to your legal entity options. It sounds scary. It's not scary. In fact, most people, as they start working for themselves, you don't need to file anything at all. So I kind of demystify what's going on there. We work on finding clients beyond your immediate network. You know, one of the things I always talked about in the old blueprint, and still you'll find a lot of knowledge about online, is that most VAs get referrals or get their first client, from their immediate network. That could be your friends, family, past colleagues, somebody you know, someone they know. However, that is where the old blueprint ended, and that can be quite limiting because your network is a finite resource. So beyond that, we have a whole new lecture dedicated to what works, what strategies are put in place beyond looking to your network. And so this is an attempt to help widen your net and really put into place a long-term strategy. So this course kind of breaks up two things. One, we have a short-term fast strategy for here's how to get clients now. And then this is the secondary part of that for here's how to set up a client pipeline that will keep clients coming to you and keep your growth. So that's a really good one. Pitching with confidence is a really fun one. And I do want to say I added something really cool to the exploratory call. So the old blueprint program in previous iterations had really stopped at here's how to run an exploratory call, which is basically the virtual assistant's version of an interview. Now, we as VAs are business owners. We don't have traditional interviews. You are not going to speak to a client and they're not going to be like, tell me about your last 5 jobs and where do you see yourself in 5 years? That just doesn't exist. The good thing is, as a VA and as a business owner, we get to just have natural conversations with people. What kind of help are they looking for? Does that align with your services? How could you two work together? So we break down the anatomy of a call. I give you step-by-step guides for how to lead this call, roughly how long it lasts, a template for you to download and have by your side. With scripts, when you get on a call with a person, have this open next to you. This is going to help you lead the conversation, sound like you're putting your best foot forward. But my favorite thing about this is that I do practice conversation live. Students have said they understood the theory of a discovery call or an exploratory call, but they wanted to see it in action. This is a live, in the moment, we don't know what's going to happen call. It's really fun to see how we work through this together, and I think it'll give you a better understanding of how the call usually sounds and how it usually goes. Old course also kind of stopped after you signed your first client. This one goes way more in depth about onboarding, what your first month together looks like, how to keep your client happy, how to onboard them in a way that's not overwhelming for your client. I really plan out what your first month looks like. And then I have also added, okay, we talk about money habits, taxes. This is also a new one. This one is really exciting too, because it goes through what you can expect in your first 3 months, including some troubleshooting, including some typical things that tend to pop up with clients within your first 90 days. Something else that I think is really fun and really useful is the workbook. And here's something that really differs from last year. This year, I wanted my blueprint videos to not be quite as long. The longest video I have, I think, is 10 minutes. And for that, I do apologize. But most of them are split into 5-minute modules. This is because I give you the overview and the context that you need to help fill out this workbook. This workbook is a thing of beauty, if I do say so myself. It goes through every single module. It's going to ask you to spend most of your time filling out and planning out your business through this workbook. So it's over 30 pages. I really want you guys spending the bulk of your time here, because as you go through the course, module by module, if you are filling this out in real time, when you finish the course, and we're still going through this, when you finish the course, in theory, your whole business now is built in this document. This is going to help you because in the future, you no longer need to, let me share this tab. In the future, you no longer need to come back and visit this course and rewatch a 20-minute video. In the future, and I hope you do come back, and if you're like, I need a refresh, or I need to figure out, I just need to see what Erin does, or I need to see what she suggests or scripts, you can just come back, and between the slides, which are full of information, between these slides and between the workbook, you can get everything you need, reminders, refreshes, just from the workbook itself. So I'm really excited for this workbook in particular, because you can also, and you should also, iterate. Like, you should be going through as you're building your business. First time you go through, you're going to set it up as you're brainstorming. I emphasized several times in the course that nothing that you plan on day one of setting up your business is set in stone. This is us planning out the first version. But as you start to progress through the course, something in a later module might spark some ideas or some creativity, and you might go back to an earlier module and change something in your workbook. Or you might have your first client interview and land and sign your first paying client and realize, oh, this is a little different than the flow that I imagined. So the workbook is fluid, it's flexible, it's yours forever. And my hope is that you save this and sincerely use this workbook to help you continually make and edit and create a business that becomes more and more well-defined and more attuned just to you and your talents and your passions. And that is exactly what I have designed this year. So really exciting iteration. Just a reminder, if you're joining at this point in time, Skool.com, I will link to my particular school for you, but a nice reminder that the tabs, this is where I want you guys interacting, sharing, asking questions. Classroom is where you actually access the programs. Calendar is where I want you guys to be looking for occasional calls. Programs come with monthly calls, as do just general members. So if you join my school, we will be doing monthly calls for like coffee chats like this, Q&As, casual things. Map is kind of just a fun one if you want to see right now where students have joined from. So we've already got global students around the world, and I'm really excited to welcome you all and get to know you guys and meet you guys, learn about you guys, learn about your specific needs. We talk a lot about what works in different countries, what doesn't, so don't be afraid to ask me those questions as well. Thank you so much again, and I hope to see you in the Skool community. Whether you join us or not, I hope you guys have a great weekend, and you will be hearing more from me next week.